What's up, everybody?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. As always, before we begin, please remember to like this video, subscribe, comment down below whatever thoughts or feedback you may have of what we say. If you don't like it, we understand. If you can relate, share it to someone who can, and of course, if you do as well, do what I just said. Also, we're on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can always interact with us there.
Yep.
And that's the whole point. Create the engagement, create the conversation, so then people can obviously feed off each other, and then we create these discussions of the topics. Also, you can listen to us on Spotify and iTunes.
Spotify, iTunes, yeah.
Cool. I did a pretty good job today. All right. So, thank you very much for everyone. Before we begin, I kind of want to do just a couple of shout outs, actually. I know we've never done that.
We never have.
But I think it's very important because there's been a lot of love and support that have always been with us. And it's Black Sheep, Gus, In the Mood Photography, the Larry J. Is there anyone else that you want to give some sort of credit to?
I can think of right now. I think those are like the main ones in our circle.
Yeah, so they've always been helping us with the content. They've been helping us with the pictures. They've been helping us with almost everything.
Everything since day one.
And also, the Black Sheep and Gus, they've always had us on the Black Sheep perspective.
Shared or episode.
Exactly. They've always brought us back in. They've always interacted with us. And yeah, so that's been very important. So thank you for everyone, and also all your other supporters that are always writing to us, either individually or to the page. It's very important. So if we can help you guys, you can help us. Everybody help everybody. All right.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, pass it over to Mr. Schultz.
Thank you, sir. This week we have a
What are we
tough
talking
one.
about first?
Cheating and second chances.
Good. Okay.
Is
The
it
other
okay?
one, yeah,
Yeah.
because the other one I wasn't ready for.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome.
Cheating and second chances is an episode that we want to talk about, a topic that we want to talk about. I suppose, what triggers cheating? Can you come back from it in a relationship?
I'll be honest. I'm gonna do everything off the dome. I've had a rough week, so Marvin, he has notes, so I'll let him lead, and I'll pitch him whatever I can.
Well, when you first brought up this idea to talk about this, obviously I was somewhat reluctant. By somewhat, I mean very reluctant.
This is a very big step for a lot of people.
It is.
What's the saying? Like the first way to get over it's like when you go to rehab, it's like admitting you have a problem.
Yeah,
so
admitting you have a problem.
big step for him and for a lot of other people, even myself. So
yeah, so reason this is more of this is a harder topic to talk about than maybe some of the other ones is, for me, there was a point in my life that I am not proud of where I did cheat, and I did hurt somebody in a way that is unacceptable, and really there's no justification for it. There's no excuse, but it did happen. And I do admit to it. I don't like talking about it because it reminds me of a life that I no longer live and no longer partake. But I always say this is a safe haven, and this is a place for people to be honest and be vulnerable. How can I say, hey, be vulnerable and be honest when I'm not honest myself?
who told you that?
Right? I wonder who. No, but on all seriousness, yeah. So we obviously we don't just want to talk, but we also want to walk.
We want to practice what we preach. So
Absolutely.
We help a lot of people, so I think it's very important for us to really, if we're going to ask of you guys to write to us and be open to us about it, I think it's very important that we do the same back to you guys.
Absolutely. So, when I thought about this topic, and I sat down and I wrote, some of the stuff, and I was thinking, and I thought back to the life that I used to live and why it happened. And a big factor is, I feel like I have to clarify, when you cheated, if you're getting cheated on, it is never a reflection of you and who you are. A lot of people will be like, oh, what was wrong with me? Like, what did I miss? The person being cheated on, and it's never them. It is always something lacking with the person that is cheating. In that case, years ago, it was me that I wasn't good enough. It wasn't like the person that I was with, was missing something. So that was a big one, because the person, she felt guilty, or she felt like, hey, why did you do this? What was lacking? And it wasn't so much anything lacking with her. It was rather than with me. And, I just wasn't the man that I needed to be. And I'm not proud of it, but it did happen. And it's something that I have to live with for the rest of my life. I try putting it behind me and obviously move on and be better. And at the end of the day, that's really all you can do. You can't change it. You can't go back in time and try to undo it. All you can really do is learn from it, try to be better every single day. And I think that is an important aspect, and not minimize the situation, but at the same time, I beat myself up over it for a very, very, very long time. Like really, really guilty and regret, and I felt disgusted with myself. Um, and such a amount of self hatred is not good either. So I had to let go and had to move on, and it was hard. It was a process.
Do you know
Absolutely.
why you cheated?
I thought about it, and till this, I thought about it, and even till this day, it was an impulse decision. I don't think people in general say, "Hey, I'm going to cheat on my partner in 2 weeks." Like it just happened. I remember I was at a club, and I actually wanted to leave, and my boy's like, "Oh, stay, this and this," and what happened then was obviously shouldn't have happened, but I was selfish because at that moment I didn't think about my partner. I didn't think how my actions would reflect the love that we share
I
and
mean, I don't think anybody would in that situation.
what think
Like,
about
if
their
you're
partner.
about to cheat, you're obviously not
Right?
thinking like
Yeah,
that. I
but
mean, unless it's known.
what do you mean?
Because you know how some people like they know that they're kind of doing them wrong, like they've been talking to a lot of other girls or like a
Oh,
lot of other guys on
well,
the
they're
side.
aware of it. Yeah,
Right.
you
Yeah.
are aware.
Yeah.
And
So
you
I
know
take
what.
I take back what I said.
Yeah, you are aware. I mean, honestly, it was a lapse of judgment. It was out of character, and I'm not proud of it. But if anything concrete, we were like me and my partner were at a very very rough patch, and we were rough. I don't even. It was years ago. It was a couple of years ago. So I don't really remember the details, but I know just we weren't in a healthy spot. That doesn't make it any less vindictive and bad and inappropriate and awful. I'm not saying that, but I don't know. I guess part of me just wanted to escape from the trouble and the fighting and the arguing, and I just wanted to kind of like numb that. And so, you know, I did what I did at the time, and it was awful, man. Looking back, I was like, why? For what? You never look back and be like, was that worth it? It never was. It never is.
Right.
And so, it was a fortunate event and how it turned out, and um, yeah, she found out, and we broke up for a little bit, and then we worked through it. And obviously, that's another part we can talk about. But yeah, so that was kind of my story.
So yeah, I'm obviously single now, and I've tried relationships. I'm really not good at them. But in the past, when I was dating, not a couple years ago, but a long time ago, cheating was pretty much second nature to me. I hate to say that, but I was always exposed to a lot of temptation.
Mm-hmm.
And I acted on a lot of the temptation, and honestly, I think cheating was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I hate to kind of say that, but if it wasn't for that, I would never understand and acknowledge the pain that I've inflicted on other people.
Yeah.
So it took me a really long time to really learn that lesson because, there was a lot of great women that I've had in my life that I've either cut short to avoid the fact that I probably would cheat, or or I would cheat, or there was some sort of wrongdoing on my part where I knew that it was affecting them emotionally. So when all that exploded in my face, and knowing that there was a lot of great women, I'm not saying that each woman would have been perfect for me if I would have dated them, but knowing that they brought they were very valuable people and very important people, very special people,
Mm-hmm.
and I chose to do that to them. After a couple of years went by, I went back and I spoke to all of them, and I think a lot of them they've always given me second chances to have them in their life, like
Okay.
as a friend.
Right. Right.
I never really tried to pursue anything after. Unfortunately, I mean, a lot of it wasn't from like serious relationships. It was always like girls that I was probably dating that I would go back and forth on, but then I would play around and tell them that I was committed to them. So it hurt me knowing that I inflicted that pain on them. So fortunately, as time went by, they allowed me to really reconcile, and they've always told me the same thing, like, Chris, you're a piece of shit guy to date, but you are an amazing person to have as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So and I'm very fair with everyone. So I mean, Marvin, he's one of my closest friends, and I believe those who really know me would say that Chris really is. He cares about his friends, those that are really close to him. He'll defend them, and he'll want what's best for them. So that's how I was with everyone that I keep close. So to the list of women that I have kind of screwed over in the past, a lot of them have said, Chris, like I do value you as a person. And even now, I'm so surprised of who you've become. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, it's taken me a long time, especially on this this track that we're both on for
Right.
the Coffee Breakup and everything and all the other things that we're doing on the side, you know, it took a lot of growth and understanding of what kind of man I wanted to become. And I knew in order for me to be that man, I had to learn. And unfortunately, a lot of great people were affected along the way, but it's made me who I am today. I value and I cherish all those people that I've kept into my life when all that happened for us to reconcile. But it took some time, and it sucks, you know, when doing the cheating or kind of, you know, fucking around for shit like that. It's just very nasty.
Yeah, and then you look back, and even now we
I'm
remember.
disgusted.
Yeah,
you
we
know?
look back, and well, I look back, and I don't know if you can relate. I'm sure you can. You look back, and you see all the the destruction you've caused, and the devastation, the heartbreak, and the cries, and the sleepless nights that you've caused, and the mistrust and trauma that other people have to live with for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And it's not a pretty sight.
Yeah.
Um, you know, yes, I was younger, but I should have known better. And being young is not an excuse. But the only thing that gives me hope and that gives me like a sense of, you know, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Reassurance is that every time I look in the mirror, every day I wake up, I'm so proud of who I am. I'm proud of who you are when I see the things that we're doing and the people we're trying to help. And I think that's part of the reason why we do what we do, because we want to help people. We want to help people. We want to help people get through it and see the end of the light at the end of the tunnel. And so, you're a byproduct of what you've been through and what you've done. And so, it happened. And if it wouldn't have happened, you and I wouldn't be the people that we are today.
Yeah.
And so it's just something that you have to accept. It happened, and all you can do is learn from it and never make that same mistake again, and really grow from it and take it in, take responsibility. Accept that yes, you were a piece of shit. Yes, I you fucked up, and then learn from it and move on and try to move on and try to make amends. But at the end of the day, that's all you can do. Let's try to be a better person today and tomorrow.
It's just very funny how looking back, a lot of people have told me, it's like, dude, I would have never thought that you would be the one to do, because at least you were more like in relationships. I don't know how often you've cheated, but I was a hot piece of shit. So a lot of people who do know me, they're like, dude, I would have, like, I remember the first time I said that I was into this podcast, they're like, but you're never in a relationship.
Right.
That was number one. Number two, it's like, dude, like, why would you, of all people, think that it would make sense? So, I mean, it just shows a lot of growth for us to really, be able to accept and admit the situations that the errors that we've committed in order to be, a better, stronger people today. It's been a long road and it's very impressive, I would say.
It is. And, I just hope that, and I remember, one of my exes that I came across last year, and she saw me and she was like, hey Marvin, I am so freaking proud of who you are and what you've done,
right,
and how you've turned your life around. And that's kind of what like gives me that motivation to keep going, and kind of gives me that reassurance to say, hey, something good came out of all of this.
Yeah.
Because you can beat yourself up about it, you can cry and scream and yell and complain, but it happened, and that's all you can do is accept that and be better. I think we both utilize that to the maximum. I would say. Another point where what I wanted to ask you, speak up a little bit. That I wanted to ask you is, you know the saying, once a cheater, always a cheater. Do you believe that? Or do you think that there's a certain truth to it?
Right now I don't think I'm in the position to be answering that because I'm not in a relationship, so I don't know how I would react in a relationship right now. And I think we've talked about it before. I don't see myself being serious or committing to anybody at the moment. I'm too hyper focused on myself to accomplish my own goals, and the time that I can invest on myself, those that the women that I have tried to kind of bring into my life or try to explore as a, I guess, potential candidate. It's never the amount of time that it takes to put into a relationship. A lot of people that they might think that it's not a lot, that you can literally make it. I mean, there's people who have long distance that make it work, and there's not a lot of time that they spend together. For me, I'm more focused on, okay, what can I do? What do I need to do next? Like, so when you ask me that question, it's hard, because if I do commit to someone, given the job that I have, I mean, remember, like right now what we're doing, I'm not doing this to like try to get more women, and neither are you.
Right. course.
but we are exposed to a lot of them, you know. So I
Right.
feel like that can also be taxing in a relationship where they could be like, oh, you're always either on your phone or you're talking to this other girl, when a lot of it is work, you know. So once a cheater, always a cheater. I want to say no.
I want to say no as
I
well.
want to say no. I know that I feel like it could be a recurring thing that could happen in the future, you know, especially when it comes to dating, you know, but it's very difficult for me to decide. However, I do believe in a lot of change and growth and development, and I feel like that can change a lot. You know, I had a conversation today with someone. They were having issues with their partner, and this has been a pattern already. Like they've been having a lot of issues, and you know, right now he's going to therapy and he's trying to, you know, do better. And I commend him for it. But at the same time, I feel like one needs to hold their own value to make sure that either as a cheater, you have to make the decision and be comfortable enough to say, okay, what do I need to do differently? And if you are the one being cheated on, also have your own self-value. It all comes to self-love. Have your own self-value and know that, you know, if I am going to go back to someone who is cheating, what needs to change or what should I be more aware of?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I want to believe that people do change. I full-heartedly believe that people can change. I look at myself and I know that I changed. I'm not the same person anymore. But you have to put in the work, and it can't be because you're trying to make somebody else happy or you're trying to have a relationship work. It has to come from you.
Right.
And a lot of times, when you do something so devastating, it might be advantageous to be alone for some time because there's certain things you can work through while in a relationship, and then there's also some things that you may need some time apart. And so it really depends on what went wrong and the dynamics of the relationship, and you have to really assess the situation because I think you can come back from if you've cheated, or you can come back from it. I don't think it's a stain that it's will ever be with you for the rest of your life. I think you can come back from it.
Do you believe in second chances then?
I do believe in second chances. I believe in second chances wholeheartedly because everybody makes mistakes, and obviously there's different categories, different kinds of mistakes, and cheating is probably one of the worst things you can do in a relationship, absolutely, hands down. um, but yeah, if both people are willing, and a big part is about maturity and it's also about forgiveness, because if you're a person who likes to hold things over people's heads, you're probably less likely to be able to forgive this person, especially if they did something so devastating. So it depends. It takes two. It takes two people. It can't just be the person who cheated and say, okay, like I'll put all the work, and then the other person's just there.
Yeah,
Like,
they need to be receptive. Then.
yes, they have to be receptive. They have to be open, and they have to comprehend that this person is trying to change for himself, ultimately for himself, and then hopefully that can translate into the relationship, right? But I do believe in second chances, you know, especially if you're thinking you're gonna spend the rest of your life with somebody. People will always make mistakes, you know. If you're spending, 2, 5, 10, 20, 30 years with somebody, there's gonna be bound to be some times where you will be asked to forgive somebody that you love. And the ultimate question lies with you. Can you forgive this person? And you have to be honest with yourself. And if you say, hey, no, I know people who say, hey, if this person cheats on me, I could never forgive a cheater. I could never forget a cheater. And that is okay. That's your prerogative. And then you have to, do the courage, have the courage to walk away from that situation. If you truly think that you cannot overcome this, or maybe you can't overcome this right at the moment. Maybe you need to walk away, take a step away, and that's okay. But you really have to be on the same page, because if you feel like no, you can't forgive, and you just trying to see what's gonna happen, I don't think it's gonna work.
Do you think that you can give somebody a second chance if they cheated on you though? Because the argument a lot of people is, it's almost stereotypical that the man cheats and the woman always takes them back. But then if you were to ask a guy, oh, if your girl were to cheat on you, would you get back with her? And it's like, no way, I would never fuck that. So do you think that, obviously, I mean, you've opened up about your experience and you were given a second chance briefly, and so obviously, it didn't work.
Right.
Do you think that you would be, if the script was flipped, do you think that you'd be able to take her back if you were cheated on?
Well, I was cheated on prior.
I know.
Yes.
But that was a lot. That was back then, and then we kind of discussed it in the previous
Yes,
episode.
we did.
But right now, based on your mentality, do you still think that if you were with someone, that you would be comfortable enough to get back with them after they've cheated? You said you believe in second chances.
I do believe in second chances. I am inclined to say that people could change. Obviously, I changed, and so I want to believe in that person. And yeah,
Do you think the severity of the breakup is a factor?
I think the severity, the length of the relationship.
Yeah, I think there's multiple factors.
Yeah, there's multiple factors. It's not black and white.
Sure.
It's it is. I want to say case by case, almost like, because only you know the history that you two share. You know what you've been through. You know the good and the bad.
Yeah.
And you have to assess. A lot of people, and this is what I so strongly disagree with. You could do 100 great things, right?
Yeah.
And you do one bad thing, and the person will hold that bad thing over your head for the fucking rest of your life. And I don't agree with that. You could be the greatest guy ever, which a lot of people are good people, and then they make a mistake, and then they get stigmatized by that one mistake. And so I don't think it's fair.
It's almost like if you go out to eat at a restaurant, a lot of people, like, you expect good service, so you expect a good relationship, you expect to do good.
Right.
So obviously, if you can always do better, so if there's
right.
like a lack of effort or a lack of being intimate with your partner, that's one thing that it could always get better, but you never expect bad. So obviously that's why the bad is always going to leave a stain.
Yes, I get what you're saying, but no relationship is perfect per se.
True, but
I'm not saying cheating should be part of any relationship, because it shouldn't, and I'm just want to make that
unless
clear.
you have an open relationship.
Then it wouldn't
not
be
even
then
it wouldn't even be cheating.
Yeah. But I mean, just to be clear, we're not condoning cheating or saying it's part of any relationship, because it is.
Cheat all the time. Marvin says cheat all the time.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
No, definitely not. But what were you saying in terms? Oh yeah, well, I was just saying it's just kind of frustrating how you can have an amazing relationship, and then
But you have to understand that
I do get
because if I go to a restaurant, I expect good service. So if I have bad service, unless it's again great service, it can get better. Then, for example, someone will leave a Yelp review of like how good this was. But then if you just go to expect good service and you get shitty service, what's the first thing that a lot of people do? They want to complain either on Google reviews, Yelp reviews. You know what I mean?
Right. At the same time, yes, but I expect good service, but at the same time, I also know that this person is a human being, and there will be bad days. And if he might have a bad day, and if I go on Yelp and look at the reviews and has 99 positive reviews and it has 2 bad reviews, I'll say, okay, this guy had a bad day.
Sure.
And chalk it up to that. And I'm not comparing bad
So
service
somebody
to cheating.
cheats. Oh, yeah, just had a bad day.
No, I'm not. Fuck. I'm not comparing bad service to cheating, obviously. No. But ultimately, it depends on who you are as a person. If you think you can forgive, because I know some people, they like wholeheartedly say, "Hey, I can't forgive that."
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you don't have to. It's not. Nobody should guilt trip you into forgiving a person who cheated on you, because it's not fair. They had their chance. If they blew it, it's your right to walk away. But at the same time, if you feel like you can't forgive, and you're willing to give it another chance, you do have to be aware of that. It takes some effort from you as well. Don't be like, okay, I guess I'll give him another chance, but he's gonna have to do all the work, and I'm just gonna be there sitting around. It's forgiveness is hard. People don't understand how much work and effort it takes on both parties. Even if you didn't do anything wrong, forgiveness will still require an immense amount of effort. So I mean, that's just my intake on it.
You have a lot more things written down on the paper.
I just went through some of the stuff. Well, I was gonna ask you. You think you can come back, like a relationship could be resuscitated from an instance like that where somebody cheated?
Dude, so we kind of had a similar conversation. It was about getting back with the ex, and we did touch up on some things of why it would even split in the first place, and a lot of them was about cheating or making a mistake or time in between.
Mm-hmm.
So, I believe in order for anything like that to reconcile, I would really need a lot of time in between.
Yeah.
To really purge the mistake, like the emotions that I felt when whatever, in case I was cheated on, I would need time to really purge those emotions, and accept that this person is different. I would need to see some sort of action, and we also talked about it before. Like, I think with the ex that you referred to that cheated on you or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I asked you, I was drilling you with questions, trying to understand why you gave her another chance, and you told me because you really saw it change.
I saw it change.
I would need a lot of time in between, for me to let go of all the negative emotions and and that feeling of being completely heartbroken, to be comfortable enough with myself to be able to accept, to reconcile and possibly give them back.
And so, if you give them another chance, do you think the relationship will be the same, or do you expect it to?
Well, if I give them another chance, it's because I don't expect it to be the same. If I do, I would not even entertain it.
Okay.
So if I feel like they're still on their same shit,
No. I'm not saying the same as far as they're gonna do it again. I mean, will it be the same between the two of you? That bond that you two share? You think it will be the same in that sense? Like, this is, let's say you've been in for 2-3 years. You think you can see past that mistake?
So if I were to bring somebody back,
yeah,
it's because I'm willing to move forward and kind of rekindle what could have been.
Right.
If I still have doubts or I still feel something inside me that's still in pain, I don't think that it would ever be the same, because you're going to continue reflecting on the negative. So whenever there's some sort of red flag or a pattern,
like a small thing that
any detail that's out of the norm or sketchy,
he takes long to respond.
You're going to always reflect you cheated once before.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Cheated again.
Right.
So I think in order for that to be avoided, you really have to be comfortable enough with yourself.
Absolutely.
And be able to really forgive the situation and mature from it.
Yeah. One last thing. We're almost out of time.
Yes.
Ironically, well, I had not too long ago. I had somebody. Yeah. I had somebody reach out to me because I was talking about cheating, and she was like, "Oh, how are you gonna condone cheating if you've done it, in the past?" And I'm like, "Well, just because I've done," and this is what kind of triggers me. It's like, just because I've done something 2-3 years ago, however long it was, doesn't mean that I am defined by that mistake.
Right.
And that's what people really need to understand. You're not a product of your past mistakes. You can overcome that, and just because I've done something inappropriate or I've done something wrong, like cheating years ago, that doesn't mean that's who I am today, and it doesn't mean I can never speak out against cheating. And that's a big one. I just wanted to see what you think about that. Like, do you feel like, have you ever had that where you're speaking up about it and people kind of give you shit for it?
Well, yeah, I opened up with that. You know, a lot of people, they were like, "Oh, well, who are you to talk about relationships when you've never even been like a good person?" Right. Obviously, a lot of time, but it always reflected back to, they always knew the kind of person that I was, like the individual. Mm-hmm. Shitty boyfriend, great friend, great person. So that, they'd always go back to, okay, I see, the growth that you have. So, I think that I haven't really been chastised for it, but I feel like if there is enough growth, then I don't see the reason for that to even be an issue. I've gotten good feedback from what we're doing. So, and I don't think anybody would have really expected this.
But I just always feel like there's always going to be some people who try to pull you back in the old life you used to live and be like, "Hey, didn't you do this 2 years ago? Didn't you do this 3 years ago?" Regardless if it was cheating or something like that. I feel like there's always a couple of people like that.
I think that
frustrating.
True. But I think that the amount of, I don't want to say change, but the amount of growth and maturity that I've tackled on has outshined.
Yes.
Everyone who has talked to me, and I've sent them messages, or even when I talk here, they're like, "Dude, who the fuck are you?" I'm like, I feel like I'm a completely different person. I'm still the fun-loving Chris that I am, but I feel like I have a lot, sharper mind and much better heart, even, especially when it comes to friends and the way that I communicate with people. I think it's received better. So, I don't think that's really an issue.
Gotcha. All right, I think we're almost out of time, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Cheating, second chances. Let us know what you guys think.
There's so much more we can talk about, but it's unfortunate that we're out of time.
Yes, there's so much to talk about, but we try to keep these episodes to 30 minutes.
I think next time it should be like, what are red flags to find, like, if they do cheat.
That's another one. If you guys have topics you guys want us to talk about, comment down below. Absolutely. Let us know. Message us, me, Chris. But we just want to thank you guys so much for the support you've given us. It's been tremendous.
Yes. So thank you very much. Till next time.
Ciao, guys.
Enjoy your day.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching today's content. We hope you guys enjoyed the show.
And if you did, please make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below. And follow us on every other social media platform. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Go ahead and follow us, leave us a comment, and any feedback helps. Whatever you leave us, we'll be able to touch up on another show, or we'll be able to get back to you with any other comments. Thank you.
Thank you guys.